business coach and an IFC certified personal financial management trainer. I also run a franchise with MTN Uganda that I have run for the last 20 years. And I've also won the 2016 Woman of the Year Award for financial management for MTN Uganda. I am a mother of 5 adult children, with the eldest being 24 and the youngest being 16. I'm a member of BNI, Business Network International. That's why I never even changed my background. I just jumped out of a BNI meeting where I am the president of my chapter, BNI Champions. And yes, that is me in a nutshell. Married for 24 years, Christian that loves the Lord.
Wow, that's a heavy CV. Thank you. You can see we are very qualified to talk about balancing burnout and passion. This month is Global Entrepreneurship Week month. We're having the Global Entrepreneurship Week happening, and the conference will be on 19th November at Hotel Africana. We're also looking for partners, so please do reach out. And we also have the business health check that is going on. This is a complimentary business diagnostic service from Enterprise Uganda to business entrepreneurs, and also the exciting entrepreneurship training. Wait, what is ETW in full, Derek? And ETW is also going on. This is a 1-week intense business training that I attended and I really love. We shall share these links later on. Jacqueline, we're saying you have 29 people in the room. Maybe you can share your screen and we get started. Also see Angela is a mental health recovery coach and fellow from Nantamba Wellness Support. Please do share who you are in chat and what you do and your contacts. So welcome. And there's Cosmas in the room, Martin, Allen, Mushi. Welcome. Christina, Caroline. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Okay. Angela, please go ahead.
Angela or Jacqueline?
Jacqueline, sorry. My apologies.
It's very okay. Thank you so much, and thank you for today. Our presentation is going to be on how to reignite your business strategies for overcoming burnout and renewing passion. One of the things that we know that we faced with as business owners is we get burnout easily, is at times when it becomes heavy, especially the operations of our business, we tend to find ourselves having a burnout, and at times finding that the business is a burden. Because burnout can sneak up on you, especially in managing multiple responsibilities. So many of us are the entrepreneur, we're the manager, we're the marketeer, we're almost everything. We wear almost every single hat in our business. And this can drain both your personal energy and your business momentum. So today we're just at that time of the year where we're winding down the year and trying to see how 2024 went as business owners. I know they say there's burnout also in the workplaces. I hope some of these points I'm going to give will also support the workplace, but I'd like to be more specific on business owners this morning, because one, business is a very lonely journey. We find that this is a space you are alone. This is a space you must multitask. It's not a guaranteed paycheck at the end of the month. So for so many people, It drains you emotionally, it drains you financially, and it also slows down at times the momentum that you have for your business. So maybe so what we need to ask ourselves, then what do we do? Because we're not wrapping up business. We're not going to close and go back running to do other things or be employed. We have to be able to hack it. Like in my introduction, I told you that I've been a business owner for the last 20 years with MTN Uganda. I've run a franchise with them. And of course, I have had my times of downtime in terms of business, but I've also had my downtime in terms of me as an individual, where I burn out or where I start asking myself questions. Am I on the right track? Is this the right thing for me to do? Or maybe should I change and go into some other business? But one of the things that we always go back to is, as a strategy, revisit your why. Revisit your why. Most of us have businesses that we have a why. And for those who do not have a why, probably it's time to ask yourself, why am I in business? What am I trying to solve? So when you go back to your why, when you go back and look at what was the problem that you were trying to solve in the first place, then you're able to reignite that energy. Because I would want you to take a minute back and just look at when you were starting that business, how excited you were. Personally, I know that I told everybody about Prosperous Coach and why I was starting it. And this started for me because after winning the Woman of the Year award and being, recognized by a multinational and taking me different places to visit and tell my story, I was very excited because I told myself, so that means that if I, a woman who had never run business and was working in the bank, resigned and came and started business, then I can be able to achieve this. What about if other women were also supported? So that is how Prosperous Coach came. So that my excitement for me was to be able to hold other women, to play in the spaces that I was playing into, to talk to multinationals, to build their businesses and stop saying, oh, Ninaka business, Katono, oh, I'm running 1, 2, 3. So for me, that was very, very important. And every time I get a burnout, I go back to my why. I go back to that excitement and ask myself, if I was excited then, have I lost my why? Do I need to have a conversation with myself to remind myself, what problem was I solving? What solution was I bringing to the table? So go back and ask yourself, what is your why? And that will spark something new in you. Another reason why we definitely get burnout as business owners is the big picture. We have these very big and grand goals. We have places we want to go to. For example, I want to open up an academy, but I'll find that thinking about an academy becomes very overwhelming. Every time I think about the academy, I get very, very, very overwhelmed because I'm thinking, okay, I need to get space, then I need to get this. Then what is the rent going to look like? How many children do I need to bring in? In case the rooms are not full, where am I going to get the principal? Where am I going to get that? And before I can, I can go through all that, I feel very bogged down. I feel very tired, but I have learned that if I'm able to break down my goal into small, manageable components, then manageable and achievable goals, then I am able to, slowly break this down. And every time I achieve one level, then I celebrate myself and I go to the next level. But one thing that I know as business owners, we have big pictures, but we do not set goals. And that is not cliche, that setting goals is cliche. It's not cliche. I know so many people do not set their goals. And because of this, it becomes very, very overwhelming. We are at the end of the year. What are the things that you want to achieve in 2025? How can you break them down to quarterly, weekly, monthly goals, and then celebrate yourself after you have achieved that? That will help you not to get burnout. That will help you not to get overwhelmed, because remember that it's also very, very important to be able to protect your mental health as you are running business. You don't want to run mad in the process of running your business. So streamline your workload. Another strategy that you can use is streamline your workload. Consider outsourcing certain tasks, because at times as business owners, one of the reasons that we are could also have maybe an accountant who comes in once a week or once a month, be able to take that load away from you. But also the other question that you should ask yourself, what does your schedule look like? Do you have a schedule? When you are going into work every morning, do you actually have a schedule? Who do you show up as? Or what do you do on particular days? I know one of the things that I support members on is scheduling, especially business owners. You know, when you're in the workplace, it's very easy to be scheduled because it's time for my end of month reports, time for weekly reports. When are you supposed to come in office? You know, you're given your tasks, you're given your KPIs, you're measured, you have a supervisor. But remember that in business, most of all this falls onto your own table. So what are you doing? One of the things that I would like to share that I always advise people, especially if you are, you know, you're the marketeer, you're the finance person, you're the operations person, you're the strategic thinker, have specific days for all those chores. So let's say on Wednesday, yes, I'll have everything else I have to do, but Wednesday is my marketing day. So what does that mean? That means that is when I put out my social media content. That is when I post, you know, so on Wednesday, I'm doing everything marketing. That is when I'm reaching out to my customers. That's when I'm checking on my customer database. Then maybe on Thursday is my day for my finances. That's when I'm looking at, have I banked? Have we reconciled? So that way you are not overwhelmed. You can do that either weekly, have specific days, or you can do that in the day and you have different slots of when you're doing what. And so when your workload is streamlined, then you'll find that it becomes easy for you. If you notice the trend with business owners, every time you tell someone, they can either not pick a phone call, they cannot attend family functions, they are always busy. Let me call you back. I'm in a meeting. Let me call you back. Then in my head, I ask myself, if you're in a meeting every time, when do you close business? When do you think for your business? And I'm not saying being in a meeting is wrong, because these meetings definitely are, you're trying to look for business. But at times it also shows your state of mind. When all the time you're busy and running around, when do you get time to sit and have things actually done? So that should be able to ask yourself, what does your schedule look like? And also in this schedule, how are you freeing up your time for strategic? Because for you as a business owner, yours is supposed to be the strategic direction. Are you really thinking that, putting that time? Other than that, you will become an employee in your own business, and that will bring you burnout, and you will not feel like, coming back to work. I got burnout from, I'm a Toastmaster, and during COVID, I went for so many Toastmasters meetings, as in this meeting, as in the other meeting. I was in Bahrain, I was in India, I don't know as well, and I got burnout. It is now 3 years, I think 3 years later, I failed to rejoin Toastmasters. Imagine that happens to your business. Every day I tell myself, I will go back to Toastmasters. But every time I think of, I even just mentioned the word Toastmasters, I get triggered. I remember the burnout. I get overwhelmed. And 3 years later, I failed to be a Toastmaster again, and yet it's a space I enjoyed. Imagine that happens to your business. What would you do? Are you going to spend 3 years without running your business? Okay. Something else that is also going to support you to be able to reignite that passion in your business is to have a business health check. Ask yourself, what is happening in your business? I'm happy that Enterprise Uganda says that there's a complimentary health check. And if you can't do the one for Enterprise Uganda, even at Prosperous Coach, we offer health checks. And health check is just to identify those areas of your business that are doing well, but what areas will need improvement. And this will give you growth opportunities, and it will motivate you to be able to implement these changes. Remember, we are going back to our why and why we started this business. Also, when you're able to look at your business and see where you're doing well, first of all, that is kudos to you. And it's a pat on the back to say, I'm really doing well. A health check is not to just look for problems, but also what is working. Because one thing that I always tell business owners, there's something that is working in your business. It's not all gray. It's not, all dark. There's something that is working. And so when you identify through the health check what is working, then you're able to pat yourself on the back and say, oh, wow, this is working and I will continue doing it. I'm doing something good. And then you also ask yourself, what are the gaps and how can I work on them? So usually when you're working on those gaps and after you've identified those gaps, at times, I don't know if you're all like me, but with me, it gives me an excitement to say, oh, so my problem is my marketing. How do I work on my marketing? I love having new things that I'm working on. And so that will excite me and that will reignite my passion back to my business. But it will also give me specific areas to work on. Times one of the reasons we get the overwhelm and the burnout is we feel everything is so big, we do not recognize what is working, and even when we are told to look for what is not working, at times we are not very sure where to look, and that is where the challenges start coming in. But the health check is going to be able to support you to say, these are the areas that are working well, this is where the challenge is, and then you could be able to work on them and improve them and grow your business. And of course, business, you're supposed to be happy. Something else that you need to work on is focus on self-care and routine. Routine is very important. One of the reasons that I want you to, those of you who are parents in the room, I want you to go back home today and tell your children, do anything. Okay, we're going into the weekend, so that supports us. And tell them, do whatever you want. There's no routine, eat when you want, shower when you want. Just do that for Saturday and Sunday and see how chaotic your home will be. Because human beings thrive on routine. And actually, even children, there's a study that shows that when someone doesn't have routine in their life, they feel insecure. And that insecurity is what now will definitely bring challenges with your mental health, is what will bring the burnout, because you do not know how you start or end your day. Remember that as a business owner, every single corner is screaming for you. We're moving into Christmas, you're trying to make as most sales as possible. At the same time, you're trying to be able to say, how do I pay my workers? How do I do this? They're calling you for a meeting. Bills are not paid. URA is doing the other, is knocking on your door. There's so much that is screaming for your attention. So routine is very important, but most especially is self-care. How are you taking care of yourself? How are you most especially taking care of your mental health? Who are the people you surround yourself with? Because they also drain your mental health. Are they people who are going to keep saying, go on, Jackie, kudos, 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 you can do this? Or are they people who are going to say, kati business, wagenda muyaji, see what it's doing to you? And so such things will, definitely lead you to being overwhelmed with your business. In self-care, what are those other things that you can do? So many times when we talked about healthcare, self-care, the first thing people think about is travel. I know we all love travel, but they think about travel and then they will certainly say, oh, but I don't have money to go to Dubai. Oh, but I don't have money to go here. It doesn't have to be Dubai. It doesn't have to be travel. It can just be simply, how do you wind up your day? Do you watch your favorite movie? Do you have a routine to wind down? Do you read a favorite book? Do you just sit at your balcony at home and just be quiet, have a cup of tea, put music and just be quiet, after a long day? Or could it be that you're going to the gym? At times, if you can't afford the gym, could be that you're walking, because remember that exercise brings out our happy hormones. Exercise makes us happy. When was the last time you exercised? When was the last time you walked? When was the last time you just had a cup of tea with friends and chat? I have a group of friends that I always tease and say, me, I'm here. I don't want to talk business. I have come to speak Lugambo, because Lugambo is food for the soul. And I'm not talking about Lugambo in backbiting, but it could just be talking about whatever is happening. It could just be talking about football. It could just be talking about how Trump won. Anything that just is not going to bog your mind down, but it's things that you intentionally put in your day, intentionally put in your routine to be able to support your mental health, but most especially, who are you surrounding yourself with? Business is a lonely journey, an extremely, extremely, extremely lonely journey. Overwhelm and burnout come out from lack of support. Everything in life needs a support. Marriage, raising children, you have a spouse to support. Your spiritual life, you have a reverend or an imam or a sheikh who is supporting you. If you're a footballer, you have your football coach. If you are a writer, you have your editor. If you are a singer, you have your vocal and voice coach. who is supporting you as a business owner? Who is supporting you as a business owner to be able to hold your business together? And a business coach will come in very, very handy for you, because this will also support you to be able to avoid burnout. Why? Because a business coach is going to provide you with perspective. The business coach is going to help create action plans. Remember that we have that big picture. They're going to support you on your action plans, but also hold you accountable on that. And this will ignite motivation in you, because now you have a clear path on what it is that you're working on. But a fresh set of eyes can reveal new direction or support to your business to be able to streamline it. Do you have a business coach on your team? Can you afford a business coach? And if you can't afford a business coach, how are you going to then be able to incorporate this money into your budget to be able to get a business coach? There are coaching sessions that are group sessions, there are coaching sessions that are individual. Usually the group sessions can support you a lot, because remember, iron sharpens iron. And at the same time, these group coaching sessions are cheaper. We run different cohorts at Prosperous Coach, so reach out. Do not struggle alone. Something else that supports us, and this excites me, is celebrate small wins. Don't always wait for the big win. Celebrate the small wins. What are the small wins in your business? Were you able to open up a new website? Were you able to get into LinkedIn? Were you able to post your first TikTok? Were you able to get your 100th client? Were you able to sell your 40th pair of shoes? What is that you're celebrating? Celebrate the small wins. Our culture doesn't teach us to celebrate, because that is why you'll talk to someone and you're like, oh, Jackie, congratulations on this. And they're like, yeah, we are trying. He just said congratulations. Yours would say, yes, thank you. That was a great win for me. But most of us, the thing we go to, the default setting is, yeah, we are trying together. Actually, together. And that does not support you. That does not support your mental health. Remember that what we speak out is what our minds, what our minds are perceiving and what our minds are taking. So when you celebrate yourself, I love the Indians. Indians have a celebratory kind of community. And I went to school in India, so I have so many Indian friends. So I asked them, why are you always celebrating? You seem to always have a celebration going on. Celebration here, celebration there. We have a Diwali festival, color festival, the festival of lights. They're always in a celebration. And he told me that every time you celebrate, you increase happiness. If you do not take anything out of my session today, take out that every time you celebrate, you increase happiness. So what are you going to celebrate yourself on so that you can increase the happiness in your life? We want to have many happier people. Last but definitely not least, as a business owner, remember I keep saying business is lonely. Join a business network. Join a network, and there's so many business networks. There's Uganda Women Entrepreneurs, there's Uganda Women in Trade, there's Uganda Manufacturers Association. We have BNI International, where I'm a member. What network can grow you? I know so many people are in Rotary, but as a business owner, yes, Rotary is good. I don't know. I need to draw the line there, because every time I tell members, oh, join a business network, someone tells you, oh, I'm already in Rotary. Rotary is not a business network. If you look at the objectives of Rotary, they are totally different. It's a beautiful space. It's a space that supports so many people, but it's not a space that is necessarily going to support your business. It will support it. Yes, you might get the networks to grow your business, but where are you having conversations with business owners that are in the same situation as you're in? Business owners that are on the path to grow you. Business owners that you can intentionally speak to every week. We meet as BNI weekly. Then they also encourage us to have one-to-ones. And when you're in those one-to-ones, you're getting, the advice. Because remember that most business owners, by the time someone is able to start their business, there's a lot that they can be able to talk to you about. There's a lot that they could be able to share with you. There's a lot that, you could even be just a bouncing board. And in those business networks, you're able to talk to people that are like-minded. You're able to get referrals. You're able to get like a sales team that is going to support you. Do not walk the business journey alone. And on that, I also like what I also want to bring to light what most of us as Africans and Ugandans believe. We believe in a badge of honor in terms of suffering. We believe that if we suffer a lot, then people are, and you've seen that narrative, oh, I started poor, oh, I started this. It's not bad, but we glorify suffering a lot. As a business owner, do not suffer because you're going to have a burnout. You're going to, and when you have that burnout, you've seen people that have actually checked out of their businesses. They're there physically, but emotionally and whatsoever, they are not there. So do not glorify suffering of saying, man, me, I hack this thing alone. I'm in my business alone. There's so many people out there that have gone the journey before you that would be able to support you. There's so many people who are on the same journey, on the same trajectory that you're on, that would be able to support you. So don't go through this alone. But, and then something else that I just came to mind as I was speaking about the joining a business network. What is your support system like? Do you have a board of advisors? You might not be at the level where you can have a board, a fully fledged board, but at least do you have a team of advisors? And you don't need to meet all of them at once. You could meet them maybe one per month. It could be an advisor on your legal, an advisor on your taxes and finances. It could just be a friend who holds your hand. So who are the people that you have in your tribe? Who are the people that you have in your tribe? Do you have a business tribe? Maybe that is what I end with and ask you to reflect on. Do you have a business tribe? And if you have that tribe, how are you using it? How are you using it? Let us not have burnout. Let us not struggle with business because this is a lifelong journey and you need to journey that with your mental health intact. Thank you so much and over to you, Weri.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Yeah, was good. I also remember I had burnout a few years ago, and one of my advisors recommended me a coach. And the first thing we did was analysis. And they're like, yes, but you see, you're actually doing well, just that you're feeling overwhelmed. So first take stock, take a step back. And that was very useful. Please do post any questions you have. Also, you can raise your hand and we shall be able to pick you. So I have a question just to kick us off. What are the signs of burnout? How do you know you're burnt out?
Would you want me to take every question as it comes?
Yeah, we can just do one by one, or we group them. Okay.
How do you know that you're burnt out? For me, speaking from a personal experience, is every time you get up and the thing that used to excite you doesn't excite you anymore. And it feels like a chore and it feels a burden. And of course, when it starts feeling like that, then there's a lot of procrastination. There's procrastination on the projects you want to work on. There's procrastination on, getting to office. You will fall through in your projects, in your proposals, in any work that you need to do. So when you start seeing some of those things, then definitely burnout is sneaking up on you. At least that is how I tell that I'm getting burnout.
Burnout. Yeah, I think it may vary from person to person. Yeah, there have been requests from Stella Siko. Please share your contacts again.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay, we have Ami Mushi. Please put up your hand or share in a chat about any questions or comments you may have. Angela is thank you, Jacqueline, for sharing. My take home is celebrate the small wins. Every time you celebrate, you increase. It is actually something that I hadn't noticed, but thank you very much for that. There's that thing of sharing. It's that we don't have in Uganda, and that is key, like having a circle, called a circle of trust, where you can talk to people, share, where you can get people who understand what you're doing. Entrepreneurship is a lonely journey, and you find that people around you, immediate people around you, do not understand what you're doing. Work with a lot of youth entrepreneurs. and they have all these issues, and I tell them, first buy a kilo of sugar at home. And when they do that, that's when their parents are like, wait, you're actually doing something interesting. Why don't you, instead of not getting a job, they're like, yeah, that's it. Michael Mubiru asks how to join NBI. He has not yet registered.
Okay, how to join BNI? First of all, BNI is Business Network International, and it is a group of members that it's a membership group where you, first of all, you have to have a registered company. That is one of the criteria to be a member. 2 is visit a chapter and understand what they do, and if it's a good fit for you. You are allowed up to 2 free visits. I would invite you to BNI Champions. My number is in the chat. Please reach out so that I could give you a link. We meet online for 3 Thursdays of the month at 6:30 in the morning. But on the last Thursday of the month, we actually meet physically at the Kampala Serena Hotel. And then you'll be able to meet business owners, and then we will take you through an orientation and a process to understand BNI and how to become a member and how to leverage from it. So because it's a membership kind of association, we would not like people to jump into it. We want you to fully understand what you're getting yourself into, what commitments you're getting into, both in terms of time and financially. So Mr. Mubiru, just reach out, or you could also send me, just put your number and then I'll reach out to you.
Okay, there's a question from Nantongo Josephine. At times, doing routine work becomes boring. How can you make it exciting?
Of course, yes, routine work becomes boring. It becomes very, very boring. How do I make it exciting? At times you could, for me, I'm going to give personal examples. At times I play music. If it is not work that needs a lot of my concentration, I'll have like a YouTube video or a TikTok running in the background because I don't like silence. Silence disturbs me. So at times I have that playing, but also it could be that take breaks, after you've done something for about an hour or so, take a break, breathe in, breathe out. And also, what are those things that you can do as part of business? And that's why for me, BNI becomes exciting because I'm able to have one-to-ones, I'm able to have strategy meetings, I'm able to meet my power team. And usually it's over a cup of coffee, I'm chatting, but I'm also closing business. So I don't feel guilty that I'm just having a coffee. In that coffee, I'm closing business. So maybe at times do that and change scenery, move away from your regular office, work at a cafe, work at the beach. Remember, one of the reasons that you went into business is also to be able to have the flexibility to enjoy some that. Yeah.
Yeah. And also a key part that also I find is helpful is to know yourself. A lot of people want to copy and paste from other people that they see, yet may not work for you. So sometimes doing a bit of analysis about yourself, in addition to your business, you can identify the things that are exciting for you, and you add them to this. I think Emma Sevonia has a follow-up question there of how do you add innovation in your work? Like,
okay, that is interesting. This morning, one of the things we're talking about was traditions and innovation in your business, and how are you able to do that? How you add innovation in your work is you look at every single area of your work. For example, you could look at the financials, you could look at the strategy. And here I'm going to give a specific example for someone I was coaching yesterday. And one of the things that we realized is that he takes in an average of maybe 3 new site visits every day. And when he would do those 3 site visits, then that means that at the end of the month, you can calculate the number of site visits. And then after those number of site visits, then he has to give them quotations. So by the time we calculated, we found that he might have to even spend a year before he's completed giving out quotations for just 1 month because of the number of work. But remember that as you're trying to do that, the work is also piling. So we quickly asked ourselves, what is it that we can innovate around this? And the innovation that we saw is AI could be able to support in some of the things, in terms of giving quick quotations, giving, quick designs, stuff like that. And so he unclogs the system. So one, it is to look at your kind of work and look at what areas would you want to innovate. Do you want to innovate in the finances? Do you want to innovate in administration? Do you want to innovate in your sales? But also you could look at your bottlenecks and what are those bottlenecks? What are those areas you're struggling with where innovation could help you? For example, AI is very strong right now. Why are you struggling as maybe someone who's giving out quotations to do the whole 3D and what? Yet there are spaces where you could be able to put that and quickly get a quotation out to your people. So around your work, but also around your bottlenecks. Where is it in the system that you feel in your business that you need to do better?
Yeah. Okay, thank you. There's a question from Grace Nakai. I'm interested in business coaching. How can I get one and how much does it cost?
Okay, thank you so much, Gracie. Business coaching, we run it in two ways. We have the individualized coaching, and that depends on the size of business that you have and the size of staff members that you have. And that starts usually from 1 million shillings going upwards. And that is for us to be able to do the health check. And then we meet with you and your team 2 times a month for 3 months. We also have one that is we run as a cohort and it's for 10 people. We have a next cohort coming in January. We're right now in the middle of our first of our cohort. And this we do as groups of 20. It is for 300,000. It also lasts for 3 months where we're able to handhold you and we meet twice a month physically. The reason for that one is because we believe that iron sharpens iron, but we also know that at times people are also at that time where they're negotiating and saying, what do I put? Do I put my money in buying and purchasing stock or do I go to a business coach? So those are the two coachings. We run the group and the individual coaching. My contacts are in the chat box. Reach out and we have a further conversation. Or please you could also post your contact. Thank you.
Okay. There's a comment from Oliver. Thank you, Jackie. Enterprise Uganda did a business health check to our company and have improved greatly. Thank you for highlighting that in this session. Yes, a business health check is complemented by Enterprise Uganda. The link has been posted in chat. I will share it where you can register and you get a business health check. A consultant comes to you, looks at your company. Like Jacqueline mentions, we start by mentioning what you're doing well. A lot of times there's a bit of feeling overwhelmed because you are seeing only the problems in the business. Health check first shows you for what you're doing well. That is something you should celebrate and take note of because you have actually achieved something with that business. And then the things that you can improve on, and then the recommendations on how to go forward. So for some people, a business health check, you can use it immediately and have immediate results. Some people use it as a guideline for a few years. It's something that could be quite interesting for people. We seem to be running out of questions. There's a question from Natalia Rashid. Jackie, thanks for presentation. Can remote managing help to reduce burnout?
Yes and no. I think that would be a quick answer for me would be yes and no. Yes, because first of all, it gives you time to step out probably, and you're not in the midst of the chaos or of that, and it gives you time to be away. But also, at times as a business owner, when you're facing a challenge, it is like fighting the war away from the front line. I feel that at times you need to be at the front line to be able to understand what is actually creating that burnout and to be able to support yourself. Because what I fear with remotely managing to reduce burnout is one, remote managing at times has its challenges. And that is one of the challenges we have as business owners. They tell us, oh, you need to be hands-off, you need to be what? But that hands-off should also not be very, very hands-off. What are your touch points? But also, at times, remote managing might just increase the challenge or the burnout. For me, maybe for you, Rashid, the fact that you asked about it, it could be one of the solutions for you. But personally, when I am away, I will feel managing remotely, I'll feel detached, and that detached will increase my anxiety, and the anxiety will create burnout, and it will be a whole roller coaster. So you need to understand yourself if that really works for you. Personally, I don't think it would work for me as an individual, but probably by the time you asked it, maybe it's a solution that you're seeing for yourself.
Okay, Emmanuel Cavale offers, this is his business, he's talking about himself. Please do post in chat what you do in addition to the questions that you have. He offers standard audits, business development support, proposal writing, and work health management in group trainings. He has posted his contact there. Frida says, thank you for the presentation. David message has a question. What about delegation as a way to reignite business or taking a break?
Okay. Thank you, David. Of course, breaks are very important, and we don't want to be employees in our business. If you cannot take a break from your business, one, ask yourself why. It's because probably you've not put the right processes and structures to allow you to move away. So give yourself a timeline, put those in place, and take frequent breaks. Breaks could mean hours, breaks could mean days, breaks could mean a certain period. If you cannot take away a whole month or 2 weeks away, you at least can take a day away. You can at least take 3-4 hours away. So breaks for me are very, very, very important. And remember when I was talking about the scheduling and all that, I reminded you that you need to understand who you can bring on your team. And that now is to support you in terms of delegation. I'll give a specific example. Being a coach and a trainer, there's things I don't like. I don't like admin work. I don't like having to write proposals, having to bring, to look for clients. And because I want to concentrate more on what my strength is, and my strength is the coaching and the training. So I usually want to concentrate on that. So I will try as much as possible to delegate the other work so that I take that out of the way so that I concentrate on what it is that I do. So delegation is key. You cannot do everything, but also ask yourself at the step, where is your business at? Are you able to delegate? But also when you delegate, what is your follow-through process? Because you don't want to delegate and be totally hands-off and only to find that they've taken you into a certain ditch. Delegate, but always keep your eye on the ball.
Okay. Thank you. Rebuild Consultants, Architectural Designs says, thank you for the wonderful insights. Shall both work together? Then Kampuria Martin has a question. What does it mean? What does it really mean not being an employee in my business?
Okay. What it means to be an employee not to be an employee in your business is, I assume and believe that usually the reason why most of us start businesses, yes, one is we have a problem we want to solve. Two is because we want the money, but usually three is because we want the flexibility of time. Okay, for me, but I know that is what happens to most people. Want the flexibility of time to be able to do the things that we enjoy in life. For example, if I enjoy charity, if I enjoy traveling, I want to be able to travel more. I want to be able to do my local charities. I want to be able to be a part of Rotary and fully immerse myself. But at times when you're employed, you are limited on these things. And when you're limited on them, you'll find that someone says, I'm leaving formal employment because I need to be in charge of my time. So when you move out of formal employment and move into business to be in charge of your time, and then you come into a business where you're not in charge of your time, and you are actually working longer than you need to work. You cannot even take a day off. You don't remember the last time you attended a friend's party or a family gathering. Then you're an employee in your business. So that's not a bad thing at the start, especially at the formative stages. The years we're putting our businesses together, we need to be that so that we can put the structures and everything in place. But with time, that business should be able to free up to be able to free up your time to do the things that you really enjoy to do. So there you stop being an employee.
Charles Lagu, please go ahead. He has raised his hand.
Thank you so much, Abid, and thank you, Jacqueline, for the presentation. In a partnership undertaking, you find that you have different views and work ethics. So, but you need each other to achieve the undertaking. For example, if it is a project and so forth. And therefore, one party has to work so hard so that you achieve the result. In the process, one of the partners may get burnout. How do we solve that kind of burnout in a partnership undertaking whereby you have different vision, different work ethics, different way of doing work, and yet you need each other to achieve results? And this happens because you may be 2, 3 partners, 4 partners, but you find other partners are slow, others are fast. I wanted your insight in that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Charles, for your question. I think it all starts from the beginning. When you are coming into this partnership, what exactly were you coming to do? We are very informal as Africans in nature. So most things start from a bottle of beer, from a handshake, and the details are not given in between, only for us to start working together. And that's when we want to start bringing the details, but already some chaos has been formed. So mine would be from the word go. What is this partnership about? Is it that one of you is going to be a silent partner and the other is going to work? Is it that you're bringing the money and the other one is an employee? And if that is the arrangement, then the one that is active, how are they being remunerated? Because also the fact perception is important, and managing those perceptions and from the word go, because if I know that I'm going to be the active partner and I'm going to be remunerated for my taking part in that, then at times I won't get a burnout because I'm very clear from the word go on what it is that I need to do. And the fact that I'm also being extra remunerated for it makes it different. But burnout at times will come from you're not clear, there's no remuneration, you're seeing the person seated and they're not really doing much. So it first starts from grumbling, and then the grumbling comes to, to the burnout and all that. So be very, very clear. 2, have constant check-ins. Check-ins where you have candid conversations. And the conversations is to say, Abid, this is what we agreed. You're not pulling your side of, I don't know why we don't like to have candid conversations. Candid conversation doesn't mean a quarrel. It means that we are putting things on the ground and having these candid discussions. And also in those candid discussions, we have each of us has specific targets. Each of us has specific roles. I think at times also one of the things I realize in business, we're not very deliberate in having roles to say, I am going to do 1, 2, 3, you are going to do 1, 2, 3. So you find that because there's that ambiguity, everybody is getting into each other's role. And the one, of course, who's the hard worker will get the burnout. But also have clear KPIs as a business. Sit down and have this. Even if you need to bring in an HR consultant to support you, but be very clear on who is doing what. I know at times people will say, oh, but that's a lot of English. But if you're taking your business to the next level, there are certain things that you must professionalize. That is why you'll see people like MTN Uganda. You're not going to find the workers on the street boxing each other, because they're very clear on whose role is what and who has to do what. And yet we've seen so many business people actually boxing each other on the street.
Yeah, thank you, Jacqueline. To add on that, a lot of businesses actually fail because of founder conflict. The business is actually doing well, but you find that one person is doing more and they are feeling resentful and they just stop. Because they are avoiding having those conversations. It is a culture issues that we have in Uganda. People don't like confrontation, people don't like talking, and a lot of point they express themselves it's seen as an act of animosity, yet you need to have these conversations for your business. So Charles, in this case, sit down with your partner or your partners and you have these conversations like Jacqueline has said about who's doing what, responsible for what, how they get paid, how did you start? And in some cases, you may have to buy out some of the partners and be prepared for that. It is part of business and growth. Otherwise, your business will collapse. There's a question from Frida Zentongo talked about their business, Chatswood Consultancy. They offer consultancy services for ISO standards in quality, health, safety, and environment, and also HR-related consultancies. Yahweh Paul has a question. How does one identify basic features, performance features, or wow moments in our business to enable business owners to improve on the services and products they provide?
Okay, I'm not getting Paul's question very clearly. So how does one identify basic features, performance features, or delighters or wow moments in our businesses to enable business owners improve on the service or products that they produce? So that means that you're looking at it, one, from the perspective of the client, but also from the perspective of you as a business owner. So your key performance indicators are usually, you're looking at, depending on what kind of business it is. I happen to know Paul, so I'll use your particular business as an example. So for you to be at Innovation Africa, where I know that you do, water management and anything to do in the water sector, one of the things could be that, one, the key performance indicator could be definitely revenue is a key performance indicator. What revenues are you looking at getting out of your business this, whether quarter or year or what? So you're able to measure yourself around those to say, what is that? The other performance indicator at times is in number of units. For example, how many boreholes do we want to be able to put in place? So you say we want to have to be able to construct 100 boreholes. So that's a performance indicator for you, because then you break it down to quarterly and then maybe to monthly, and then you ask yourself, then how do we go out and get those boreholes to be done? So you're looking at number of units, and then you're also looking at revenue. But then also the wow moments in your business. For the wow moments is the emotion that you're going to evoke. Because I know you deal with areas, for example, like the project you've just done in Kiliandongo, where you've put up that water. I would imagine what it would mean to the refugees that didn't have running clean water after you have actually put the water. So I would imagine the smiles of the children. I would imagine the first time the water actually runs out of the borehole. To me, that would be a wow moment, and I would capture that. And I'd capture that as a story to tell on what it is. So for you, the performance indicator there will come from unit. It will be units, would be revenue, but will also be the emotions that you evoke. And those would be the wow moments. I would have loved to see the pictures of Kiliandongo or the videos to see how those refugees reacted when you gave them clean running water.
Yeah, those small wow moments are important. There's from Jen. Thanks for your insight. I own produce business in Mbara. I need to employ technical people, but they're very expensive for my business. Is it possible to use part-time technical personnel, and how can I do it?
Yes, I think it's possible. And usually part-time training, part-time technical personnel could be, first of all, you need to identify who are these key personnel that you need who are technical. And when you need them, where then can you find them? Then it would be good for someone like you, if you're in Mbarara, to talk to a technical, for example, a technical school. At times they're looking for where to send people for industrial training. They're looking at where to send people on part-time. They're looking at where to send the people for, for a work experience. I believe you can tap into that. But for some that are very, very technical, you could just identify them and then come into, look out for them and come into an agreement of the amount of time they will be able to come and spend at your workplace.
Yeah. Okay, and okay, this is from Mugiri Amando. Good morning. AMQ Aqua, we deal in design and construction of water structures and systems. Then Jen. Okay, I think you've answered that. Also for the part-time, it is good to you can also hire people when there is work needed. If you have a client, you should make sure that the bill of the part-time person coming into that particular client engagement, that their payment is met by that client money that time. This would help. If somebody is paying you, let's say 1 million for the work, and you have a technical person coming in, you should not pay them 2 million, because then it will be counterproductive for your business. Then we have Julius. Thank you for the insights, especially on celebrating small wins. Julius does contract accessories along Kampala Road, Edge Gadgets. His contact is there. Otim Emmanuel. Thank you, Jacqueline. At what stage of business do you move away from self-employment to supervisor role? And okay, these are two questions. And why do you think very few business people graduate from self-employment, that is being employed by their business? What would be your advice?
Okay, thank you so much, Emmanuel, and thank you for that question. I would advise 3 to 5 years, and that is not from me. That is tried and tested kind of time limit. And the question is, what are you doing intentionally in those 5 years to be able to put the processes in place where you can be able to do the advisory or oversight role? One thing that I need to advise is, when you say oversight and supervisory, it doesn't mean hands off. It just means that you're not the cleaner, you're not the one writing the invoice, but it doesn't mean hands off. It means that you have moved to strategy, where you are thinking more on the strategy for the business and how to grow the business. So most people have a disconnect in that. You grow your business for 5 years, you go hands off, and then the business collapses. You wouldn't want to put in all that amount of time for your business to collapse. Why so many people have not graduated to that is because we're not intentional. If we ask so many people, where is your business going to be in 5 years' time from now? You do not have a clear roadmap. So lack of a clear roadmap is why most people don't graduate. So they stay in the trenches, doing the hard work. I would want you to look for a book, Making Money is Killing Your Business, the 3 to 5 rule. It will give you a roadmap on how to be able to achieve that and graduate. And Emmanuel, I would want to hear from you once you've graduated, so that we can document your story and tell people that it is possible.
What was that book again? Making Money is Killing Your Business?
Making Money is Killing Your Business, the 3 to 5 rule.
I'm actually looking
I don't remember the author.
Chuck Blackman, Chuck Blackman seems to be the author of that one. All right, so we have Jacqueline Atfura, who deals with bedside nursing services around Chevando and Mulago. The contact is there. So Emma has a question. Are there cheaper sources of funding in BNI from traditional options? Most of our profit are going into debt, hindering growth.
Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, no, we do not have, because we don't have that financial app as yet, but we are into talks with capital and angel investors that are able to come in. I know that is something that is being worked on. Please visit us, become a member of BNI. The opportunities are immense in there. But I also know that right now there's so much cheap funding. And usually when I see a gentleman ask this, the first question I ask you, what is the percentage of your business that is owned by a woman? And if it's not a very big one, how many employees do you have that are majority female? Why do I say that? The voice of the country, the voice of the president, the voice of the international donors is on women and refugees. How do you position yourself to be able to get cheap funding from that? There's a GROW project that is at 10.5% per annum. And if you look at that, that is amongst the cheapest funding that is out there. Only problem is you do not employ very many women, and also you're the majority shareholder. Look at that and position yourself. There's cheap funding, especially if you have the female element. Do not tell me the boy child has suffered. That is where the ear of the world is today. Move with the trends, move with the trends. Then when it is next, it is the boy child. We shall also see how to realign next to the boy child. As a business owner, you adapt quickly. You do not ask too many questions.
We are going to have a panel on alternative source of capital for businesses at the Global Entrepreneurship Week conference. It will be free at Hotel Africana, 19th November from 8 until 5 that day. Different panels, and one of the topics is definitely sources of funding. There are other sources that are coming up, like Jackie mentioned, grants, projects, and also angel investors. Julia says, thank you, Jacqueline, for your presentation. Yeah, I think Emmanuel is asking for Jen's contact. All right, I think all the questions have been answered. I am going to post again how you can get, as an entrepreneur, you need to equip yourself with different tools that will help you grow. So it help you grow as a person, and also because also that helps your business grow. So we have the Interpretech training. That is a week long. It helps you to grow yourself and also grow your business. You can register for that one. We have the business health check. It is complimentary. This is free. Currently only restricted to Kampala and the Greater Kampala. So please do log in, and you will get these tools. We also have the Global Entrepreneurship Week coming up. If you are a business, this is going to be happening all throughout Uganda from the week of 18th to 24th November. If you are a business that deals with other businesses, you help entrepreneurs to grow in different ways: health, mental health, coaching, transport, anything, produce, please do get in touch. You can become a GW partner. Enterprise Uganda will help with publicity for your event, and you also get a free table at the entrepreneurship conference exhibition. The recording for this will be on the YouTube channel that I've just posted in chat. Killing your business. Making money is killing your business. Yeah, I see David has put a screenshot. Chuck Blackman. I'm definitely going to read this. There's actually a focus a lot of businesses have. Every time we do a business diagnostic, people do not have a vision for their business. Like, why are you doing this business? So because you don't have a vision for it, it becomes work. You don't know where you're going. You don't know where you're coming from, even don't know where you are. It is just work, 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 work. And this has an effect on your mental and psychological well-being, which can lead to burnout. So taking a step back, listening, and finding out what your passion is, what your vision is for the business would be good, is a good way of making sure your business grows. Any questions before we close? David has put the book summary there. Yeah, it says the summary is Making Money is Killing Your Business, insightful book by Chuck Blackman that challenges conventional thinking about the purpose of owning a business. The author argues that many business owners are fixated on making money, which distracts them from building a sustainable and fulfilling enterprise. Thank you very much, David. If we don't have any questions, Jackie, maybe you can have what is the key takeaway people should have from today's session?
Thank you so much, Abid. And I think for me, the key takeaway that I would want everybody to take away from this session is every war that is fought in this world is not fought at the battlefield. It is fought in the war room. And what happens in the war room? They have the battle plan, and they do a lot of planning and a lot of strategizing. Take out time, we're ending the year, have a war room, have the generals that you need to be in that war room with, strategize for your business, for what 2025 is going to look like, also what the next 5 years are going to look like, and then have a proper action plan. This is not something that we're doing to be able to present to the banks. This is for your own self, so it must be actionable. After you have strategized, how then do you action that? In December, I will have a flyer going through. In December, we're actually having our strategic action plan, the visionary playbook by Prosperous Coach. It is a one-day event where you sit in the room and think for your business and strategize for it so that you start strong. Thank you.